Dangerous love, you're no good for me, darling. Yeah, you turn me away. I'm just kidding. Y'all know I can sing though.
Drop top Porsche, rollie on my wrist, diamonds up and down my chain. Cardi B straight stunning, can't tell me nothing. Bossed up and I changed the game. It's my big bronze boogie.
So, with my little intro there, today I'm going to be talking about relationships. I've only been in one serious relationship. My relationship lasted 2.5 years. Me and my ex met at a party. After that, we were just messaging over Facebook Messenger. We ended up talking because he tried me. My ex said something along the lines that he can run laps around me. I'm like, yeah, right, okay, sure. You can try that and I'll put my foot out and trip you. He goes, oh, that's mean, you shouldn't do that. I was like, it's okay, I'll help you back up. He goes, no, I'll help up myself and I'll just run back home. I said, well, when you run back home, there'll be a big blue teddy bear saying, next time you fall into my arms. I know, corny. His response to that was, and then I threw up on you. And I started laughing and I was like, no, honestly, I would do that. And he had the nerve to tell me, talk is cheap, good night. And literally left me there. The following week, Pride happened. That night, I ended up going to the club. After the club, he was leaving with his friends and I was leaving with my friends. And I asked them, hey, do you mind coming with me to my car for a second? We were walking to my car and I was like, so I know you told me that talk is cheap and I just want to show you how cheap my talk was. I opened up the trunk to my car and there was a big blue teddy bear. After that, we were talking every day and it was really awesome. Like, we were getting to know each other. We asked the most randomest questions. It didn't become out of line. It didn't feel disrespectful. It didn't feel awkward. I felt like we were generally getting to know each other. What I liked about it is that he was very consistent and the communication was great. We were conversing every day, which is something I personally like. After about 2 months of us meeting, we actually made it official. After a year, we were pretty cool. We were partying a lot though. We were with our friends nearly almost every weekend. We were going to the clubs. We were having house parties or like little getties. It got to the point where I kind of wanted to separate our social life from our relationship, and he believed that it was 50-50 and I, on the other hand, didn't think it was 50-50. I felt that a relationship that's going to last should have more time spent towards your relationship than it is with your friends. I don't mind socializing, however, there comes a point in time in your relationship that more time needs to be dedicated to you and focusing on you and bettering each other and living together, just the whole shebang. There was just so many arguments that we had that we just couldn't agree on certain points. I don't mind agreeing to disagree, but if you can at least see where I'm coming from, like, it's not gonna go anywhere. We really did go back and forth and try to make things work, and it just was not working. It was just a lot of anger, a lot of arguments, and until it literally one day got physical. I didn't really think it would actually get there, especially knowing that I cannot see myself putting my hands on someone that I love. So I ended up going to the hospital, having my mouth wired shut for a dislocated and fractured jaw. It was a pretty rough month. I was on a liquid diet. It was horrendous. I was skeletons. But it taught me a lesson. It gave me time for me to see where I stood and evaluate my relationship with my ex. We ended up talking and I did see change in him, and I did see, like, hey, he was sorry and he felt horrible for what had happened, as well as I feel like it takes two to tango, and I'm not taking the full blame because you should never put your hands on anyone, but we just acted upon so much anger that we had that it overcame our love for each other. And honestly, it just got to the point that we just were not gonna work. So the hardest part of walking away from a relationship is walking away. You don't know how. You invested so much time and so much energy and so much money, so much stock, so much care, so much love into one person that the longer it takes and the longer you're with someone, the harder it is for you to walk away from that. How did I walk away from this relationship? One day I was on the way to the club with some friends. Halfway through the drive to the club, I received a phone call. It was from my ex. I picked it up, I was like, hey, what's going on? He's like, hey, like, I'm drunk, can you pick me up? And I was just like, no. You know, like, why would you go out and get trashed and now you're calling me because you need a favor from me? He ended up hanging up. and I felt extremely horrible. The last thing I would ever want is for someone to lose their life or get into any type of injury or be harmed because of something that I could have helped prevented. So me being the good person, I went ahead and asked my friends to drop me off at the location that he was at. Took him home. On the way home, he was like, thank you. I specifically told him I don't want to hear it. I'm really upset because I had to stop my plans because of your responsibility. However, I want you to know that I'm serious about us, and the reason I did this is because I do love you and I want to make this work. And if this is what I have to do, drop all my plans or drop whatever plans I have at the moment just to show you how much I'm devoted to you and how much I want to make it work, then let this be an initiation towards a new beginning. For what? There was one day that I felt extremely horrible and I was really in the dumps. I felt really sad and depressed, and I called my ex and I was like, hey, I want to see you. He was going to some party and I was like, you can't drop the party just to come see me. He was like, no, like I made plans for this already, ABC 1, 2, 3, who cares? So I dropped my plans to go see you, and you can do the same for me. If I can show you that I can stop whatever I was doing to show you that I'm really dedicated to you, and you can do the same for me, that's where I drew the line. I was like, well, it was nice knowing you, and this is it. So that was that. We ended up trying being friends, and that doesn't work in all cases. Some people can break up and be friends, but in this case, for me, it did not work at all. What I learned from this relationship was that I love myself more than anything. And I had forgotten what it was to love myself when I was in my relationship with my ex. When I was with my ex, I would get into fights. I was very angry. I had a quick temper. I just had this sense of macho-ness about me. And I realized after leaving him, I was like, this is not me. I don't remember who I am anymore. I'm such a fun, high-spirited, high-energy, loving, and caring person that I don't feel like I'm that anymore. Why am I going out and getting into fights with people? Why am I being so rude? Why am I being so a person who seems unapproachable? I remember that as sad as I was walking away from my relationship with my ex, I felt free because I had time for me to reconstruct who I was. I believe that it's important to just get to know someone and start off as friends before igniting any type of relationship. Now it's time for some Q&As. First question. Being with a good person, but not sure you're in love, good enough reason to stay? You can be with a good person, and people move at a different pace. When I was with my ex, I fell in love with him before he fell in love with me. If you feel like someone is being expressive to you and tells you that they love you, but you're not in love with them, that's okay. Everyone moves at their own time, at their own tempo. I think it's important for you not to feel awkward. If you feel like you honestly do not see yourself with this person and you honestly cannot develop a love for them in a relationship mannerism versus a friendship mannerism, then you need to walk away from that. The longer you wait, the harder it is to walk away and the harder of the heartbreak it is. If you feel like it's a good reason to stay, that you can honestly at some point see yourself with this person, but you're just taking a little bit more time, stay in it. If you honestly feel like this person's a great person, but you just don't see them that way, then it's important that you have that conversation and just break it down to them. Are red flags sometimes over-examined? No. If you see a red flag, my question is, why are you still in tune with this person? Why are you still pursuing anything? If you see that this person lacks communication and they're super inconsistent with keeping in touch with you, boom, red flag, gotta go. At least that's me personally. And some people have that in their mind that's like, oh, like, I have to be that crazy stalker who's more than two. No, it just shows that you're committed and you have interest in somebody. And even if it's not in a relationship, it's just interest of getting to know someone. Again, as long as you're open and honest with each other, there shouldn't be any issues. I like to get to know somebody, and then at some point I bring them on my friends. And if they fit in with my friends, that's a pass right there. If my friends are kind of like, there's something there I don't like, and whatever the case would be, then that's something I actually happen to look into and be like, all right, this is something I have to see how I'm gonna make it work. If this is a habit that's not gonna break, then I honestly can't continue something with that person. But if it's something like, hey, they didn't even notice and was blindsided, then I think it's something that you guys can improve on together. Oh, I like this next question. How excited should you be at the beginning of a relationship? Are butterflies a must? Okay, so I'm like a hopeless romantic. I know, coming from me, I have a black soul, black heart, the Titanic. You know the iceberg that the Titanic crashed into? That was my heart. Yeah, I think you should be excited. It's so exhilarating, like, to meet someone. It's like, oh my god, somebody new, and especially when you find things in common or things that you look for in a person, I think that's exhilarating. That's so awesome. Like, oh my gosh, I just met somebody. And you want to share with your friends too, right? And butterflies, hell yeah, why not have butterflies? That's so old school and cute. I love butterflies. Well, not the real butterflies, but you know, like the feeling. What the hell happened to that old school love? Boy, you should know that I got you on my mind. Secret admirer. I'm not gonna lie, I miss like the notes. Like, would you date me? Yes, no, maybe. Honestly, I'm super old school, except I don't like flowers. Don't ever get, what am I supposed to do with flowers? It's sweet. I think the gesture is sweet, but no, I don't want flowers. Feed me. Social media. Where's the wine? Social media is used for work, it's used for networking, it's used to exude your brand, it's used for YouTube channels, for comedians. There's so much diversity that's incorporated within social media. However, I am a firm believer of respect when it comes to social media when you're dating someone. If I'm posting pictures of me like half naked or like in my underwear basically, that's not appropriate at all, and I don't think that's respectful towards my relationship. However, if you're a model, I think that's something different. That's your brand, that's your job, that's something you have to do. You have to sell the clothes, you have to sell sexiness, and sexy sells sometimes. So if it depends on what you're exuding and the purpose behind it, but if you're doing it just because you want attention, honestly, like, if your partner is not enough for the relationship, I don't know what to tell you. I find it disrespectful to like someone else's picture. If you're liking someone's picture and it's just them by themselves, especially like, let's say I just got finished working out and it's them sweaty and they're like flexing for the gram. Why are you liking that picture? Why? Seriously, why are you liking that picture? Oh, I just thought it looked good. You thought it looked good. Was I born yesterday? I think that's disrespectful. You shouldn't like someone else's photo. And if there's something that you like and that your partner in your eyes lacks, maybe you should have an open communication, let them know, hey, this is something I like, how about you try this? What do you think if we do this to spice up our life? And I feel like a lot of relationships these days do not work because people aren't open. If someone has a common courtesy to tell you as their partner, like, hey, this is something I feel like I want to do, then I think it's something you take into consideration. If you don't like it, then lay it down nicely. Hey, I don't think I agree with that, and this is the reasons why. Dancing in the club. I personally don't like when my partner dances with another person. Like, if it's salsa, merengue, bachata, that's okay. But I think if it's something like, don't stop, pop that, let me see you do it. Where are you backing that up? You should be backing up on this, not on somebody else. Not even one of our friends. Hello, no. If you're with your friends, you're in a circle, yeah, but I don't find it appropriate to dance with somebody else, especially if it's a stranger. If you're dancing all up on some other stranger, sweetheart, you gotta go. What do you think happens when you give your partner everything they want? Do they grow other needs or lose interest? I think it's important to give your partner almost everything they want. However, if you give everything your partner wants, like this. To me personally, I like a challenge, I like a fight. I like to have reason to show that you deserve this, or to show that I deserve it. If you're giving your partner everything you want and they're not doing the same for you, that's something you have to reevaluate. I think that's a conversation that needs to be held with your partner. If I'm doing too much, let me know. If I'm doing not enough, let me know. Be open with me. But don't do trial and error. If you feel like there's interest there that's being lost, it's important that it needs to be expressed. You have needs too. Like, you should express your needs. Not saying that it's a must, like, I'm doing this because I want something back, but you deserve to get treated right as well too. Everyone does. And women, you should take care of your man, man take care of your woman. I like being a provider. I like being that person who's gonna give, and give and give, but you also need to give something back. Show that you appreciate that person. And if you're not receiving that same feeling in return, that's a problem. You need to sit your partner down and have that conversation. Stuck in my toxic cycles. If something's toxic and it's a cycle, your keyword is cycle. If it's a cycle, that means it's repetitive. That means it keeps happening. It goes around and around and around and around and around and around. It's a circle. It's infinite. Yeah, no. If it's a toxic cycle, what are you doing? Get out of it. No one should be in a toxic cycle. Like, that's not healthy. It's not healthy for the relationship, but more so yourself. Love yourself. Make sure that you're alright. And if you feel like you're not happy, you need to walk away from that. That is not healthy for you. That's not healthy for the relationship, and especially yourself. So everyone, the topic of relationships has come to an end. I appreciate all of you guys for viewing, for watching, for listening, all of that good stuff. Till next time, guys, take care.
Drop top Porsche, rollie on my wrist, diamonds up and down my chain. Cardi B straight stunning, can't tell me nothing. Bossed up and I changed the game.